Welcome back, everyone. Big day for news, huh? Seems like we've got a lot to unpack, especially some stories that could hit your wallet.
Yeah, markets had a mixed close yesterday. Tech dipped a little. But honestly, the real action, it's off the trading floor today.
You got that right. Let's jump in. First up, President Trump. He's making waves again. This time, global trade's feeling the tremors.
Oh, yeah, he's going for these reciprocal tariffs, basically matching whatever tariffs other countries slap on U.S. goods.
So, an eye for an eye. What's the goal there?
Well, Trump says it's the only way to get fair trade for American businesses, consumers, the whole deal. But like always, not everyone's on board with that idea.
Of course, there's always another side of the coin, right?
Definitely. Economists, some of them are worried. They're saying these tariffs could actually backfire, lead to higher prices for us here at home.
Ouch, that's not what we want.
Nope. Plus, it could mess with those global supply chains, the ones that make, well, everything run smoothly. It's a delicate balance for sure. We'll have to
Yeah.
see how this all shakes out.
Delicate's a good word for it. Makes you think of that whole Nippon Steel trying to buy U.S. Steel thing. Remember that saga?
Oh, yeah. Talk about a roller coaster. But hold on. There's a new twist on that one.
Oh, really? What's happening now?
Looks like Trump might be easing up a bit. He wasn't into them taking over completely, but now he's hinting he might be open to a hefty investment from Nippon Steel instead.
Hmm. So not buying the whole shebang, just putting in a ton of cash. What's the strategy there?
Could be a way to boost U.S. Steel without letting a foreign company call all the shots. Fits that America First thing, encourages domestic manufacturing, all that.
Makes sense, kind of. But we need more details, right? Like how much are they talking about? What strings are attached?
Absolutely, yeah. Until we know those details, hard to say how this will actually impact U.S. Steel, their workers, even the economy overall.
A lot of unknowns there.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it. Okay, switching gears a bit, Tesla. Seems Elon Musk's self-driving dream might be hitting a speed bump.
Yep. Researcher Trey Teslike, he's making headlines, claims Tesla's taking a shortcut, risky one, with their self-driving program.
Self-driving tech, that's the hot topic these days.
Yeah.
What kind of shortcut are we talking about here? What's got people worried?
Basically, Teslake says they're skipping a whole testing phase, the one where drivers don't have to constantly monitor, but the car's not fully autonomous either. Like a middle ground. You're relaxed, but ready to take over if needed.
So, from full attention to hoping the car handles everything on its own, just like that,
Yeah.
that seems like a pretty big leap.
Right. And that's what's got people concerned. I mean, if the system isn't ready for all the crazy stuff that happens on real roads.
Yeah, the consequences could be bad news.
No kidding. It makes you wonder, is Musk rushing things? Or is this just, classic Elon pushing boundaries, doing things his way?
He does have a flair for the dramatic, that's for sure. Speaking of pushing boundaries, SpaceX, they're about to make history with a landing in a very unexpected place.
You heard about that. The Bahamas, they're landing a Falcon 9 booster there. First international landing zone for them.
Wow. Talk about a view for the tourists, huh? But there's got to be more to it than just a cool spectacle, right?
Oh yeah, totally strategic. Launching and landing from different spots gives SpaceX way more flexibility. Different orbits expands their capabilities.
Smart move. I'll give them that. All right, back to Tesla for a sec. Looks like they're trying everything to boost sales. Heard they had their first dip in deliveries in over a decade.
Yeah, that's rough. But get this, they're offering free supercharging for life on new Model S and X purchases. For life?
Whoa! Free supercharging forever. That's a pretty sweet deal. Think that'll be enough to entice luxury EV buyers, though. I mean, if you're dropping six figures on a car, are charging costs really top of mind?
That's a good point. But hey, it's a nice perk, right? Could give them an edge, especially with all the competition these days. You've got Mercedes, Audi, even newer companies like Lucid and Rivian.
EV market's getting crowded, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay, let's shift gears again. Politics, things are heating up over there, and Trump's bringing back a tactic from his playbook.
Oh, yeah. He revoked former President Biden's security clearance and intelligence briefings. It's like what Biden did to Trump back in 21, remember?
For Tad, huh? Makes you wonder, is this really about national security or just scoring political points? Kind of unsettling when those two things get mixed up, don't you think?
Absolutely. It doesn't exactly build trust, does it? Speaking of addressing threats, Ukraine's making a strategic play ahead of Zelensky's meeting with Trump.
Interesting. What are they proposing?
Zelensky's offering the U.S. a partnership, wants to develop Ukraine's mineral resources in exchange for security guarantees. Basically, help us stay safe and we'll share the wealth.
High risk, high reward. Think it's a smart move for them.
Hard to say for sure, Could give them the leverage they need against Russia, help rebuild their economy, but it could also make them overly reliant on the U.S., maybe drag us deeper into the conflict.
We'll have to wait and see how Trump responds to that one. Definitely a situation to watch closely. All right, let's shift back home for a minute. Big data breach at Star Solution Services. They work with educational institutions, right?
Yeah, and this one's bad. They expose names and social security numbers, thousands of people affected.
Ugh, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Really drives home how vulnerable our information is in this digital age.
Big wake-up call. Shows how important cybersecurity is, right? This breach, it could have consequences for these folks for years. Identity theft, fraud, you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely be following this story. Now let's head north. Canada's dealing with their own set of issues, especially when it comes to healthcare.
Public healthcare advocates, they're staging a protest, not happy with government policies. They're saying it's pushing the system towards privatization.
So they want more public funding, better wages for healthcare workers, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Sounds
Yeah.
familiar, right?
It does. We have similar debates down here. Shows how universal this struggle is, providing quality care, managing costs, making sure everyone can access it.
Absolutely, a global challenge. It'll be interesting to see what happens up in Canada. They've got a strong tradition of public health care.
For sure. We'll keep an eye on that one. Now, speaking of work-life balance, or maybe lack thereof, Elon Musk, with his 120-hour work week philosophy, that's back in the news.
Oh yeah, that's always a hot topic. His Department of Government Efficiency, they call it DOGE, they're under scrutiny. Stanford researchers saying those crazy hours actually hurt productivity and employees' well-being.
Wait, 120 hours? Is that even humanly possible?
Not for most people, that's for sure. And this researcher's saying it's not even effective in the long run.
Makes sense. Burnout's a real problem. Think this signals a shift in how we think about work. Or will that hustle harder mentality stick around?
It's a good question. You've got people like Musk pushing that extreme dedication angle. But there's also this growing awareness about work-life balance, the downsides of overwork. Fascinating to see how this plays out.
Maybe this whole DOGE debate will get people talking, about building a work culture that values results and well-being.
Couldn't agree more. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
We're back, and we've got more news for you. Stuff that could have a ripple effect around the globe.
Hit me with it. What's happening?
Looks like Trump's got another trick up his sleeve when it comes to international trade. He's hinted at a global tariff plan.
Global tariff plan. What's that even mean?
Details are kind of scarce right now, but sounds like he's talking about tariffs on every single import, no matter where it comes from. His reasoning. It's the only way to make trade truly fair, he says.
Hold on. Wouldn't that just make other countries retaliate? Start a massive trade war? Isn't that what economists have been warning about?
Yep, that's exactly what they're saying. Critics are predicting a meltdown, total chaos, supply chains disrupted, prices skyrocketing for everyone, even a global recession, some are saying.
Wow, that's a game changer for the world economy. Okay, let's take a breather from all that doom and gloom. How about some crypto news? Anything positive happening in that crazy world?
Actually, yeah. Analyst Michael Vanderpop, he's predicting a big surge for Near protocol, like a 500% surge in the next few months.
500%. That's a pretty wild prediction. Tell me more. What is Near protocol? Why should I care?
So Near, it's a layer 1 blockchain built to be super scalable and user-friendly. Think of it as the foundation for all those decentralized apps you hear about. Vanderpop, he thinks it's way undervalued right now, primed for a comeback. Plus, the whole crypto market's showing signs of life again.
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. All right, time for a little escape from the financial world, something a bit more cultural.
Sounds good to me. Where are we going?
We're headed to Gorizia in Italy and Nova Gorica in Slovenia, twin cities, and they're hosting the European Capital of Culture this year.
Wow, what an honor. What kind of stuff do they have planned?
Oh, it's a whole year of events, like over 1,000. Concerts, theater, art exhibitions, film screenings, food, everything you can imagine.
That's amazing. These cities, they were divided for so long by borders, ideologies, and now they're coming together to celebrate culture and history.
It really is testament to the power of art, isn't it? Brings people together. But all right, back to reality. We've got more breaking news. Looks like Trump's not done shaking up the auto industry. Now he's targeting Ford.
Yes, specifically CEO Jim Farley.
What's going on there? What's Trump got against Ford?
Well, he's putting pressure on them to step up their EV game. Says they need to be more competitive, especially with Chinese EV manufacturers. He keeps bringing up the Xiaomi SU7. It's a Chinese EV that's been making waves.
So he's saying, hey, Ford, if China can do it, why can't you?
Pretty much. He wants them to compete on price, on features, everything. He even said Ford needs to beat the SU7 straight up in a street fight.
Wow, he does like his dramatic metaphors. I doubt Jim Farley's happy about being called out like that.
Probably not, but it shows how seriously people are taking the rise of Chinese automakers, especially in the EV space.
They're a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. The technology, the resources, government backing, they could really dominate the market in the next few years.
And that's what Trump's trying to prevent. He wants American companies, like Ford, to be able to compete, hold their own, both here and globally.
It's a big challenge for Ford, for sure. They're going to have to innovate, find ways to stay relevant in a market that's changing so fast. Okay, let's get back to that data breach at Star Solution Services. This thing could have serious repercussions for those affected.
No doubt about it. Exposing names, social security numbers, that's devastating. It can have a long-term impact.
It's a wake-up call for all of us. Data security is paramount. Companies need to take it seriously. What steps should they be taking to protect their clients? All of us, really.
Transparency is huge. Companies need to own up to what happened, be clear about how they're fixing it, how they're going to prevent it from happening again. They also need to invest in cybersecurity, have a plan for when breaches do happen.
And as individuals, we got to be careful, too, protect our own information.
Absolutely, it's a shared responsibility. Okay, let's check in on Canada. Seems like they're having some healthcare struggles of their own.
Yeah, those public health care advocates, they're planning a big protest. They say government policies are pushing the system towards privatization, and they're not happy about it.
So they're fighting for more funding, better pay for healthcare workers, the whole nine yards.
Exactly. Reminds me of the debates we have down here. It's like a universal problem, finding a way to provide quality health care that's also affordable and accessible to everyone.
It's a tough nut to crack, that's for sure. I'm curious to see how things unfold. In Canada, they've always had a strong public health care system.
Yeah, me too. We'll definitely be following that story. Man, it feels like the world's juggling a lot right now. Economic worries, data breaches, healthcare. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, no doubt. Things are definitely in flux, that's for sure.
But, even with all the craziness, there's still so much innovation happening, so much change.
That's the thing, right? It's not all doom and gloom. There's always opportunity, even amidst the chaos.
That's a great way to look at it. Thanks for helping us break it all down today. It's always a fascinating conversation.
My pleasure. Always enjoy chatting with you.
And that's it for today's Daily Financial News Roundup. We covered a lot of ground. Hope you found it helpful, maybe even a little thought-provoking. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your money. We'll be back tomorrow with more news that matters. Until then, stay informed, stay curious.